The coach who operates outside their scope doesn't usually know they're doing it. The client doesn't present with a label. They present with a problem that sounds coachable, and then 2 or 3 sessions in, the coach realizes they're in territory they're not equipped for, and the referral out feels like abandonment. 4 patterns to recognize early in the CC1 Sub-Competencies 6 and 7 framework for the clean handoff. The 4 scope limits matter for a reason that isn't primarily about the ICF Code, though the code governs them. They matter because the coach who operates outside their scope doesn't usually know they're doing it. The client doesn't present with a label. They present with a problem. The problem sounds coachable. And then 2 or 3 sessions in, the coach realizes they're in territory they're not equipped to navigate. The cost at that point is higher than it would have been at week 1. The client is more invested, the relationship is formed, and the referral out feels like abandonment. Here's how to recognize all 4 patterns early enough that the handoff is clean. The CC and Code anchors. CC1 demonstrates ethical practice, is the governing competency. Sub-competency 6 maintains the distinctions between coaching, consulting, psychotherapy, and other support professions. Sub-competency 7 refers clients to other support professionals as appropriate. ICF Code of Ethics 2025, Standard 5.1, Section 5, Professional Integrity and Accountability. Accurately identify my coaching qualifications and work within the boundaries of my level of coaching competency, expertise, experience, training, certifications, and my ICF credential. Operating outside scope when a referral is warranted is a standard 5.1 violation, regardless of the coach's skillfulness within their practice. Standard 4.2. Recognize personal limitations and seek support if necessary, including relevant professional guidance. Standard 4.3. Remain alert to indications that there might be a shift in the value received from the coaching relationship and explore changes including a different coach, professional, or resource. Scope Limit 1. Mental health presentations. The pattern to recognize: clinical level descriptions of depression or anxiety, not everyday stress, but functional impairment. Persistent 2-week plus mood changes, inability to engage in daily activities. Trauma responses in session, flashbacks, dissociation, emotional reactions disproportionate to session content. Active ideation around self-harm. The distinction that matters: coaching works with clients who are fully functional and want to change or grow. Therapy works with clients who are not currently fully functional and need clinical support to become so. The Venn diagram has overlap. A client can be in therapy and coaching simultaneously, but the coach is not the therapist. Coaching around active clinical presentations delays the clinical intervention the client needs. CC1 Sub-Competency 6 maintain the distinction. Sub-Competency 7 refer as appropriate. Standard 5.1 work within boundaries of coaching competency. Scope Limit 2. Substance use presentations. The pattern to recognize: substance use that is affecting professional or personal functioning. Not recreational use, but use that is shaping the problems they're bringing to coaching. A client in denial about the role substance use plays in their situation. A client asking for help managing the consequences of substance use rather than the use itself. Not coaching territory. Alcohol use disorder, addiction, and problematic use patterns are clinical conditions. A coach trying to address them through coaching is both under-equipped and potentially delaying treatment. The referral: a substance use disorder specialist or treatment program, named plainly. Scope Limit 3. Legal or employment harassment situations. The pattern: the client is describing a situation at work that sounds like discrimination, harassment, or hostile work environment under employment law. The client is asking the coach to help them decide whether to report or escalate. This is a legal situation, not a coaching situation. Providing guidance on whether or how to report a harassment claim creates the legal exposure for the coach. If the guidance is wrong, the coach may be liable. The referral, an employment attorney. What the coach can continue, working with the client on how they want to navigate the emotional experience. That's coaching. The legal strategy is not. Scope limit. 4. Medical situations. The pattern. The client attributes their presenting problem, fatigue, concentration difficulties, mood changes, physical symptoms affecting work performance, to a medical cause. Or the coach observes that a coached pattern, persistent low energy, brain fog, can't focus, may have a medical explanation. The coaching goal isn't abandoned, but the medical question needs a physician before coaching continues. The coach who coaches around an undiagnosed medical condition may be helping the client develop coping strategies for something that could be treated directly. Mental health recognition in session, fully scripted. A coaching session, third month in. The coachee has been working on delegation and team leadership. Today, something is different. She's not tracking the conversation as well as she normally does. She mentions almost in passing that she hasn't slept well in weeks, wakes up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep, feels dread most mornings. She says she doesn't know what's wrong with her. A skilled coach notices the pattern: persistent sleep disruption, morning dread, functional impairment. This is not a coaching presentation about leadership. This may be a clinical depression presentation coinciding with a leadership challenge. The coaching move. I want to pause the leadership conversation for a moment. I'm noticing some patterns in what you're describing that I want to ask you about. Are you talking to anyone about the sleep and the morning dread? A doctor, a therapist? If the answer is no, the coaching conversation shifts to connecting her with the right resource. CC1 Sub-Competency 7, Standard 5.1. The leadership work waits or continues alongside the clinical support once it's in place. Legal scope clarity, fully scripted. A client describes a situation that escalates over 3 sessions. A manager who excludes her from meetings, makes comments referencing her age in a demeaning way, and recently gave her a performance review she believes is retaliatory. The client asks, should I report this to HR? Would it help if I documented everything? The first question, should I report, is a legal strategy question. The coach doesn't have the training or liability protection to answer it. The second question, would documentation help, is in a gray zone that an employment attorney should occupy, not a coach. The right coaching move. What you're describing sounds like it may involve your employment rights. I'm not in a position to advise on the legal dimension. I'm not an attorney. Have you considered speaking with an employment lawyer before deciding whether and how to escalate? The coaching work, how she's experiencing this, what she wants for her career, continues. The legal strategy doesn't. The referral out is the CC1 move, not a failure move. In all 4 cases, the coach who recognizes the limit and makes the referral has exercised exactly the competency the ICF definition names. These scope limits operate at 2 points. At enrollment, Module 5.2.1's wrong stage don't enroll signal catches the cases recognizable from the discovery call. During the engagement, the 4 scope limits catch the cases that emerge in session. Your next step, build the referral network before you need it. 3 referral partners: therapist, employment attorney, physician, or referral source. Fill in the scope of practice boundary card in the lesson now, not when a client is in crisis. Coming up, knowing the 4 limits is the recognition task. Executing the referral out conversation with a client who's invested in the work. That's the operator craft. That's next.